Hello, fellow custom card friends, because you're the people who watch these videos. It is another episode of Custom Cards. Yeah, ain't that too great? Ain't that fantastic? So here we have the Discord announcement saying tomorrow at 11 p.m. Central European time, I will do a live review of cards below this message, 5 cards per person. I already see some very tasty cards right here. And yeah, I mean, let's just jump right into it. If you guys want to submit your cards, join the Discord down below. I also have a Patreon now. So if you want to give me some money or just help out the channel, help the growth of the channel, help me, make better content for you. I also upload outtakes on my Patreon, which I won't do on YouTube. I do have an outtake video on the Patreon right now. So if you want to become a patron and want to watch that outtake video, I will be posting outtakes regularly as well. I think that's a pretty good idea for the intros. And yeah, then just that's join the Patreon. Follow me on Twitter, follow me on Twitch. When I do these streams, I usually do them on Twitch. I will also probably do an experiment later on after this one is done. And yeah, let's just get right to the meat and bones of it and review some custom cards. Let's start off with this Townsmen. I already like this one. Everything that has my face on it, already I like it because I like seeing myself be popular with people. I'm a bit insecure, guys. No, I'm not actually that insecure. It's just, yeah, who doesn't like to see other people use your face? Look at that hair. Look at that absolute hair. Needs to go to the barbershop. Townsmen. Human peasant, okay? Insanity. The first time a unit with insanity uses its fee ability each turn, repeat its fee ability without paying its fee cost. Fee 2, gain 1 coin. Okay. This is actually a card, all right? So you have insanity such as Igor obviously being the main one, right? Igor is pretty much like your main target for this. It's a 7 provision Igor, right? Each repeat its fee ability without paying its fee. That's actually pretty crazy, right? I mean, the fee 2 gain 1 coin. This is literally made for townsfolk, right? This is literally the card, like the design of the card is literally there for Igor townsfolk. Nothing else. That's pretty much all it is. But I mean, yeah, Horson I guess as well, but I don't know how Horson would work, right? Bloody Good Friends also pretty okay, but it's gonna take a lot. It's like the rope card. This card you're gonna rope a lot, I think. It's called Townsmen. No, it's called Townsfolk, guys. So yeah, I think this card would probably be a bit broken at 7 provisions, especially. So I think maybe something like 9 provisions, the card would be actually quite good. It's not a bad card, honestly. It's not a terrible design as well. It's just, it's a bit, at this current stat line, I think it's a bit too good. So yeah, I mean, it's an interesting design though. Don't get me wrong. This is actually pretty cool. I will have to accept that. All right, next up we have the Nufgaard Cattleman. Disloyal, deploy, destroy an allied bronze human, then spawn and play 2 copies of the destroyed unit. Oh god, how is this? What's this gonna do against monsters? This is gonna be terrible against monsters. Sorry, I'm just gonna put the Discord here, so I have both the Twitch chat and the Discord here. Let me just also, actually, I'm kind of unprepared here. Let me just also put Twitch chat here somewhere. All right, now I have Twitch chat for myself, where I don't have to look at my OBS. Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, I mean, this is kind of bad because, if you're playing against monsters, this card will never ever find any value unless they're playing like Idarin, I guess. But this card's really friggin' good, though. This is actually kind of broken. Even if you are playing against monsters, you can still, use Operator. You would probably use Operator with this, right? This is kind of broken with Operator. Because, you destroy an allied human and then spawn 2 copies of the destroyed unit. You just play Operator with this, right? It can also, yeah, it can also be Spies, I guess. Spies, but, it's pretty bad with Spies. The only good spy would be like Joachim, and then it just plays for 7. I guess even then, this card's kind of just broken, isn't it? This card is absolutely disgustingly broken. This is... Wait, is it allied bronze human on your side? Oh, you're destroying your own units. Well, because like disloyal is always weird with the wording where it's like destroying allied bronze. But it's still like, you can still do it's not gold. Well, what card? I mean, this would be kind of good with slave infantry, because you can get kind of double up on it. It's kind of like it's very much like Vreemed, or sorry, not Vreemed, Vrygef. This card's actually, there's a lot of cool stuff you can actually do with it. There's no mill synergies, I think, though. Someone's saying mill, but what human mills the deck that's bronze? Kingslayer's not Kingslayer's a witcher. So I don't know why people in chat are saying mill. Yeah, I think this card's pretty OP. It's cool. It's kind of cool, actually. Now that I think about it, you're basically like destroying something on your side of the field and then spawning 2 copies of it. It's like an insane assimilate trigger. This card's actually really good, I think. I love the art on it as well. Very good art. All right, next up we have the Habla Kinsman. Sadly, his face is covered up by an elbow. Shield Zeal. Order give all units in your hand and deck a shield. Whoa. Whenever a unit with shield appears on your side of the battlefield, boosted by 2. That's friggin' insane, dude. Holy crap. What? It's an unconditional, like, give everything a shield. That's just too good. That's so busted. Especially with Northern Realms. Like, how is... Like, Skellige is never going to win against Northern Realms anymore. Because it's like, every single ping is just a shield. Ansays goes brr. Everything goes brr, basically, in Northern Realms, if that's... Yeah, this card is absolutely insane. Like, this is crazy. At 9-5, this is so busted. This is really, really busted. It itself also has a shield. This card's crazy good. It's like, this card in round 1 is insane. This card in round 3 even is insane. Like, this card literally has no downside to it. Actually, no downside. The amount of carryover this produces is absolutely... It's Lebioda with, like, actually being busted, right? Lebioda sucks, but this is just busted, right? So, yeah. I don't think this card's fine. This card's actually kind of busted. All right, next up we have... Habla Outdoorsman. Veil. Deploy. Boost a unit in your hand by 5. Order. Boost a unit in your deck by 5. Then damage self by 5. Ooh. That's interesting. This has armor synergy. This is actually really cool. I think the card is a bit OP. It is a bit OP. And, I mean, but armor synergy, there's not really much outside of, like, Dwarven Chariots that would give, like, consistent armor to this. I guess you can play some neutrals around it, like the Wagon. With Wagon, this is actually pretty sick. It gives your Skags a 5 boost, whether he's in your hand or in your deck. This card's really, really good, I think. Really, really good. It gets good value already on deploy. This card's very, very solid. Like, it's basically a better Ithlin. It would probably put Ithlin out of playability. They would have to change Ithlin if this card were to exist. So, yeah, but like, it's just a really, really good Ithlin at the end of the day. It's pretty solid. Yeah, Aglace as well. If this was a dwarf, it actually would be really, really busted, though. I think it's good that it is a human. In this case, it makes sense. And last, we have... Habla Strongman. Whenever you damage an enemy unit during the opponent's turn, damage it by the same amount again. Whenever you okay, so it's like Artists, right? It's just like... It's only good with Artists. And Longship, right? Longship and this is pretty solid. It's actually... I mean, this is like a second Longship, but with a 6-9 stat line, which isn't great. You could say it's Herkia's. No, Herkia's at your turn, right? Herkia's at the end of your turn. It has to be the opponent's turn. So the only cards that actually would work with this are Artists and the dim and long ship, right? Berserker is end of your turn, guys. It's literally only works with ship and artists. Oh yeah, weather I guess is also pretty good. Yeah, rain is actually okay. Rain is actually okay. Arna Chat as well, obviously, but like if Arna Chat goes off, it like there's really no point in playing this. It's just too slow with Arna Chat anyway, right? But rain is a good shout actually. That's actually big from chat because rain actually hits at the enemy turn, so that's actually not bad. This is this is, now that I think about it, this is like a very solid like synergy card with the leader, the wild. I don't know what the leader is actually called. Sea of the Wind, Wind of the Sea. I don't know what it's called. Rain Leader. I'll call him Rain Leader. Rage of the Sea. I was close. Wind of the Sea, Rage of the Sea. Thank you. Yeah, that leader was like viable for like a whole meta because SK is always kind of viable. And then it kind of got nerfed. But now with this card, it could actually see like it's pretty good with this card. Like it gets good value already. It gets like 8 value plus a bunch of damage, which could work to kill like a 2-point unit or something. It's pretty good actually. I think this card is actually, it's not terrible, but it's also not too great. I think this would be a good card if it were to exist within the game. Also really good with Skellige Storm, right? It's kind of like a mid-rangey Skellige Storm card that isn't like a dagger or a great sword that would go quite tall. But yeah, pretty cool Hobla cards there. I kind of liked all of them. I thought they were going to be kind of like full-on meme, but honestly, some really interesting designs in these. I really enjoyed all 6 of these cards. So, sorry, 5. All 5 of these cards. Which faction did he leave out? He left out monsters, right? Yeah, okay. So no monster Hobla, obviously, because Hobla is kind of like a human. So yeah, no monster Hobla, but that's fine. Hobla turns into an action. I mean, I am technically on Cosimo's card, so I'll take it, honestly. I'll take it. So we got Moskinir Arch Druid Mage. Let me just zoom in a little bit here. Whenever a weather effect on an enemy row ends, boost all units on this row by 1. On this row? I'm guessing that's your row. Order move a weather effect from one row to another. Cooldown 1. Okay. Well, yeah, the problem with this card, like I like the design. It's a cool design. It's just in the wrong faction, right? I see a little bit of purple here. Just a little bit of purple. So maybe it's a dual faction card and the guy kind of forgot to put Skellige on it. Because it's a druid anime. So this is actually, I think the guy just accidentally clicked blue faction when in actuality this is just a Skellige card, right? So the lore is that Moskinir was the master of Angren's Circle of Druids, which is in Temeria, I think. Not an actual Witcher character, but seemed fun at the time. I think that, yeah, this is just in the wrong faction. If it was in Skellige, it would actually be pretty solid, if I'm honest. Actually quite solid, because cards like just, as we say, the Rage of the Sea leader, yet again, works pretty good because you can kind of move the weather, you can manipulate the weather with this card, and you can get value out of it. Like, it's kind of like a one turn clock for the opponent to kill this unit. So, honestly, I like weather synergy. I think the fact that they're bringing back weather synergy with the next patch seems pretty cool. So I'm actually kind of excited to see what they're going to do with it. And this is kind of like something that would be kind of cool within sort of the weather synergy archetypes. Yeah. I saw you walking, Drew. Yeah, Madoc also is pretty solid with this. So like Witcher Madoc with Skellige. But the thing with Madoc is like you don't really want to play cards like this in Madoc because Madoc you want to be as uninteractive as possible. And the moment you play this card with Madoc, you're not really, getting actual value out of the Madoc. Because you're getting value for like one turn, right? The turn you're deploying this, right? But then the opponent has something to remove. And with Madoc, you don't really want to play units anyway. You want to play bombs and Madoc and like be as uninteractive as possible. So this would kind of be anti-synergy with Madoc. So yeah, it's probably not good in Madoc. It's probably better in like value weather decks. So what up with this next card? Bjorn, Father of Gudrun. Oh, nice. We got Father of Gudrun, Cursed Pirate Tidecloak. Deploy, deal damage to an enemy unit equal to its current power. If its power is 9 or less, then damage self by that amount. Okay. Oh, wow. That's... Wait. What? Isn't that kind of broken? So, wait, let me... Deal damage to an enemy unit equal to its current power. So you deal like 20 damage to a 20 boosted unit? Or is it to this card's current power? I don't understand the wording on this. The creator has to jump in. Like if you hit like a card that's taller than 9, do you just hit it for value? If its power is 9 or less, it's above 9 removal? That's so broken. Holy mother of God, that is actually broken. Let's move on to the next card. So this guy can only go to 1. Wait, I don't get this card though. If it's power 9 or less. Wait, what? I don't get this card. Deal damage to an enemy unit equal to its current power. This means I have this 20-point unit on my opponent's side of the field, and I get to deal damage to an enemy unit equal to its current power. So I get to deal 20 damage with a 10 body. And if it is power is 9 or less, then damage self by that amount. So this is like the best tall punish. Why does it say 20 can't be targeted? The wording of the card literally says deal damage to an enemy unit equal to its current power, which is an enemy unit. The "it's" in this sentence refers to the enemy, right? Unless I'm mistaken. Oh, if its power... Okay, so... Wow, this is actually so complicated. If deal damage to an enemy... Okay, so you have to always... Like, with these cards, you always have to start with the condition first. So you have to say, if damage a unit... Just leave out this if in general. Just damage a unit with power 9 or less, and then damage self by that amount. It's really weirdly worded. You guys need to really be careful with wording like this, because... It's really like I didn't understand this card. Now I kind of understand. I thought, like, in the back of my mind, I always thought, okay, and it's probably what the guy means, but you really have to be careful with the wording of the card. This card seems kind of broken though, to be honest. Card seems kind of busted. If we have like this normal condition that I just figured out. You guys already figured it out. Yeah, it's really good with like heal synergies. It's really good with like restore. It's really good with Sucrose. There's a lot of things you can play with this card. Card is just kind of like an auto include in a lot of Skellige decks, because like even if you deal 5 damage to a 5-point unit, you're playing 10 with 5 removal, or you're dealing like it's always like a 10 removal card with a body attached to it. Like, sorry, it's a 9 removal with a 10 body, like with at least a 1 body attached to it. There's a lot of card, like this actually counters a lot of strategies. This is actually a really busted card, if I'm honest. Like, it's really, really crazy. Really, really, really broken. Yeah, it's insane. Like, the card is just good. Its value is already like, you're always hitting good value with this card, because it's like a better Regis or Ifrit in every possible situation. All right, next up we have Born Again Believer, Human Firesworn. Tribute 4, transform an enemy unit into a copy of this unit. Wait, what? That's terrible. Isn't that like a bad slave infantry? Wait, what? This card's like... Isn't this card like just a bad slave infantry? Oh, wait, no, transform an enemy unit. Sorry. Sorry, I wasn't reading properly. Transform an enemy. Oh wow, okay. This is interesting. It's not the effect of a bronze card though. This is definitely not the effect of a bronze. This should not exist as a 2 copy of in your deck. This is kind of like a card you want to play as this should like be a gold effect, right? Yeah, this has to be a gold. Like this is just like it deals with defenders quite nice. It's a crazy tall punish. It's like it's both a better and a worse morels, right? And it's kind of good with genuine like tributes. If tributes had a card like this, it would actually be kind of good. Like it would actually be really, really solid. No, tribute 7 is. I think this tribute is fine. I think the tribute is perfectly okay because you're evaluating this then as a 9 provision. Like it's 1 value to transform something into a 5. This card seems amazing on paper, but I think in action it's actually not that great because the tribute 4 is still quite expensive, I would say. So yeah, I mean, this card, it's an effect of a gold card, I would say. And I think the 5 power seems a good sort of like balance if you're going to print it on a bronze card. But I think the card might be too good as a bronze card. But I don't actually know. Like, I think this card, if a card like this can really only be evaluated in action and meta dependency, other than that, there isn't really much you can say about this card. So, yeah. Let's move on to the next one. Titanfall Brother. How many cards have we done here? Everybody submitted 5. Okay, that's good. Titanfall Brother. Whenever a token appears on or leaves this row, damage a random unit by 1. I'm guessing this is a gold. This is a gold. Yeah, I know the thing with the transforming an engine into this card is pretty solid, but like you're still paying 4 tribute for it, which is pretty big actually. Like, and like there's a limitation, like, right? If you're transforming a Visigoths into this card, it's your tempo is highly sort of like you're falling behind on tempo quite a lot. So yeah, so this card, I mean, whenever a token, so it's like once per turn. It's not like Fallen Knight. It's actually, I mean, if it worked like Fallen Knight, does it work like Fallen Knight? Does this work like Fallen Knight? I am curious. What do you mean? Oh, it's yeah, with AQ it's pretty good with AQ actually. But like, does it work like Fallen Knight? I mean, it's a really good monster card, I think. I think it's better in monsters than in Syndicate. Yeah, AQ is probably the card for this one. Definitely the card. I mean, with AQ, it would actually be kind of broken if it worked like Fallen Knight. So I think, yeah, with AQ, you have like 5 damage, like 5 random damage lined up with this, plus a bit of Swarm. It's not terrible. It might actually not be that broken. Because like you only have like your leader for it. Other than that, there's not like ways to like spawn more than, I guess you usually get like 2 value because you play like, for example, the let's say spontaneous evolution, and you get maybe a second one on the same row as this. Yeah. But it's like, it's very limited to like board space as well. It kind of is only good with the leader ability. And other than that, it's not going to get that much value, I think. So, I mean, I think this card wouldn't be broken. I think we can all agree that this card isn't actually kind of, it's not broken. I think this card is actually, it could exist in the game and it wouldn't be like too much of a problem. So yeah, that's my opinion though. Next up, we have Cedric, Court Duelist, another legendary. Order, copy the last card or ability that dealt damage this round. Oh, wow. Okay, so what's like a good... The last card. So imagine you're playing against Northern Realms and you just get to copy an Ansays. Is that how that works? Please tell me that's not how... I mean, that's probably how that works. Regis, but it wouldn't work with... what's the point of Regis? Oh, you mean like Regis Bloodlust? Rock Slide? It is an order? Yeah, I know, but... Yeah, I guess it's an order. I mean, if we're going by the way that the game works right now, is like, this is actually how it's balanced, right? Because all these sort of order cards get to be 6 power now. And I think in Nufgaard, it's also an aristocrat, which you can't put back. Double spear. It's like a unit skags. It is an order, though. You have to coop. Oh yeah, it's just another coop, eh? Nufgaard is just the coop faction, guys. I think, no, Ivar sets. Ivar doesn't damage. Ivar sets. I think the best card that would work, because it also works with your opponent's cards, right? Like, this is just a like, this is just good if it works and kind of bad if it doesn't. It's very much like a Damien, right? It's kind of it's an elder bear. It's elder bears are like the most easy things to design, I think, because you're gonna put like a really good or like crazy good ability on it, but because it's order, it's not as crazy as it could be, right? So that's why these elder bears are very easy to design. But the problem with them is obviously they are elder bears. And if you guys don't know what I mean when I say elder bears, elder bear used to be a 6 for 5, which meant you're playing a 5-point unit for 6 provision. So everything that's like a 10 for 5, that if it gets answered, you've literally just played a 5 for 10, which isn't really good value. And yeah, in a game of points, value is quite important. So let's move on to the next card from a new submitter. We got Fergus Graham. Order boost an allied unit by 1 and give it 1 armor. Okay. Charge 1. Okay. Gain 1 charge whenever you play a dwarf. Alright. I mean, yeah, it's just like a better dwarven chariot, right? It is just a better dwarven chariot. It's a gold dwarven chariot. I mean, at 5, it's 5 with 1 armor. There's a lot of things the opponent wants to answer with in dwarfs, so a card like this in dwarfs works really well, I think. It's actually pretty good, right? Like, you can boost your defender, you can boost your Yarpin, you can boost your Brewer, you can just use this as an engine. You're pretty much gonna trigger this every turn, so yeah, he's not even a good armor smith in the game. Yeah, that's a dwarf from Joanna. Yeah, exactly. I don't know why it's an epic, but like we're not gonna like judge people on the rarity of cards. Like, that's just a bit silly, I would say, but whatever. If Joanna's an epic, this should also be an epic, so I guess it's fair. It's a fair assessment from chat there. Sivan, Witcher, deploy Adrenaline 5, damage an enemy unit by 2. Death Blow, every card you play with Adrenaline this game will have their Adrenaline number increased by 1. Okay. Huh. That's interesting. The problem is it's Adrenaline. So you play it as your 6th card. So you're then enabling... The problem is... This is anti-synergy with Ivar. Whereas, like, if it was, like, synergistic with Ivar, it would actually be really good. But it's only synergistic with... what's his face? The Viper Witcher mentor. And Kolgrim, right? Yeah, Kolgrim as well. Ivar is anti-synergistic with itself. Yeah, but like, this would be a good card for the deck, for cloggers. Because it actually doesn't clog. but it does make your other cards a little bit better. It's actually pretty good. This guy wants Gorerun back. Yeah, but I think something like this actually isn't like terrible. It plays for 6 tempo, and then it just kind of like enables some other stuff to be played earlier. But it itself doesn't actually play for good value if you think about it. It's actually, I think this card's actually really good. It's a good design. I wouldn't say it's like the best card in the game, and it's also not the worst card in the game. It has its niche. It's a very niche card. What if the death blow goes off? It counts for the rest of the game? Yeah, it should count for the rest of the game, I think. Yeah, that makes sense though. Just play an Anchorite Longship for the Gorerun. Yeah, I know. Gorerun is a bit of a weird card from its design, I know. But yeah, I think this card is, it's going to be not played a lot, I think. I think you're going to want some other 7 provision cards. But if there's more adrenaline added to the game, it could definitely see some popularity. All right. Disgraced Warrior. At the start of the game, move this unit to the graveyard. Wow. Is that before Mulligan phase? That's so busted. That's so busted. That's actually really good, guys. You guys don't even know how good that is. I mean, probably, it might not seem that powerful, but you're getting rid of 2 bronze units in your deck. Immediately. Is that before Mulligan? At the start of the game. Oh wow, it's free finning, yeah. This is crazy. This is crazy. I think it's a bronze. I think it's a bronze unit at 6. Is it a gold? I know 6 provisions. Is it a gold? I'm not sure if this is actually meant to be a gold. Epic is a mistake. Okay. So it's a bronze. Yeah, okay, so Epic, it's I think it's a bronze card because the border is bronze and it seems like the ability of a bronze card. Maybe I overvalued this, but I think this is a really strong ability. Thinning your deck immediately by 2. Like in a warrior deck, you have like a few 6 provision slots that you can actually use for like great swords or War of Clans. And I would honestly drop those and just play this and put 2 cards in my graveyard so I have higher chance of hitting my gold cards. Like that's just good, right? This card, I think this card, it might not seem powerful, but I think it's a very powerful ability. All right, let's move on with the next one. All right, Assassin. At the start of the match, transform into a random unit with the same provision cost from your opponent's starting deck. This is actually really good because it immediately gives you information of what the opponent is playing. It's good assimilate. Yeah. Let's move away from assimilate though. We're talking about like information. This card is actually crazy when it comes to information. Because like there are some variations of decks that play certain cards differently, especially in the 5 provision slot. But you could also brick this in the deck builder by not playing a single 5 provision unit, which obviously is a bit weird, but you could do it, honestly. Yeah, it can transform into, like, it can also, like, be terrible. But you could also get 2 Maha volunteers, right? You get a 5 for 5? Why? What if the opponent... Yeah, you still get a 5 for 5. Okay, yeah, that's actually true. It doesn't... If the opponent doesn't play 5 provision unit, it's still a 5 for 5. Which obviously sucks. Like, it's not good at all. You informant the volunteers. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of... This is actually... I think this is a cool card. This is actually kind of a cool card. It is a very Nufgaard ability. And I just love how everybody knows this Nufgaard abilities just are a bit, you know, like Nufgaard's such a cool faction to just make custom designs for, because like you can just create random shit like this where it's like it does make sense for the faction, and it's actually not a bad card. Like I don't think you would play this. Like the problem is though, like with the current state of the game, you're never actually gonna play this card because it doesn't actually create any value. Because you'd rather play like another assimilate engine or another assimilate trigger that is more reliable, such as Duchess Informant. It's kind of like, or would you just drop Duchess? No, you can't drop Duchess because of Brathens. And because of the fact that you have to play Duchess for Brathens, you're never ever going to drop Duchess. And this is kind of too unreliable in a lot of situations. But it's an interesting card. It would be, this would have been a cool card for Crimson Curse expansion. But I think at the current state of the game, they couldn't really print a card like this since it's just too underwhelming of an effect. All right, next up we have, to zoom out, Godric the Crestfallen. Zeal, order, force an enemy unit to duel this unit. Okay, devotion, whenever this unit loses armor, damage a random enemy unit by 1 for each point of armor lost. Okay. So, you guys really love the duel mechanic, huh? Even though it's kind of broken with Northern Realms and Shield Wall. Like, isn't this just a better Ansays within Shield Wall? Like, it just is, right? It's just the better Ansays. Like, why would you guys just why would you power creep Ansays? Isn't that just kind of dumb to power creep Ansays? Like, Ansays is a perfectly good card. Let's just make a better Ansays. I mean, honestly, you would probably play both. You would probably drop Seltkirk for this card, obviously. Lose the Zeal. Well, then you would just not play this and play Seltkirk since it's just a cheaper version of this, right? Let's power Gwent. I mean, this is not really... You can't really blame the Gwent team. Like, the Gwent team at least tries some, like, new mechanics and power creeps through that. But this is just basic, like, alright, move out of the way, Ansays and Seltkirk. I am the better Ansays and Seltkirk. But we're still going to play Ansays and Seltkirk in those decks, obviously. Alright, let's move on to the next one. Voidwalker. Demon. Deploy, move a bronze unit with Death Wish from your deck to the graveyard and trigger its Death Wish ability. Death Wish, summon that unit from the graveyard to this row. Okay, this is like... this is another... I love these type of cards because the coding of this card is never going to work for CDPR because their coding is a bit... So, like... How would the opponent know which... But it's a bronze Death Wish, so you're always going to use this with Harpy, I think. It plays for 10 with Harpy, and then you have another 6, so... It plays for... Oh, wow. It's actually a 16 for 8, right? Oh, no. It's summon. Sorry. It's a 13 for 8, right? And then you have to trigger the Harpy again. This is really good with Harpy, though. It's good thinning as well. I think if the card was 3 power... or 2 power, it would be a lot more balanced. Because then you play like an 8. At 2 power, you already play an 8. And then you get a 3, so it's an 11. I think at 2 power, this seems balanced. What's up, Caucasus? I think, yeah, 2 power, I think this would actually be a solid card with 2 power. Would make... Also, wait, how good is it with... No, you would never use it with Foglet. New Foglet, you might use this with New Foglet, to be fair, though. This would be really good with New Foglet, right? Yeah, this is really good with New Foglet. Alright, yeah, so that's pretty All right, I like this card. It's cool design. It actually is pretty. It's nice to have like a double Death Wish proc. All right, Duchess. Oh, sorry. Oh god. All right, Duchess Rosaria. Wow, dude, I feel the pole in the air right now. Oh my god, it's actually really bad. I mean, I don't even. I went outside and now I'm feeling it. Oh, that's really bad. That's really bad, lads. All right, Duchess Rosaria. Veil, deploy. Spawn a base copy of a bronze allied soldier to the left of this card and give it 1 armor. After 3 allied turns on turn end, spawn a base copy of the same soldier to the right of this card and give it 1 armor. Okay. Well, I think as for soldier, you're always going to go for an assimilate soldier, so you can get more engines down. Even with a Nausicaa, I would say this is pretty good. Getting double Nausicaa seems pretty nice, because I think it would trigger the Nausicaa's deploy trigger, and it gives it 1 armor as well. This card is just really good value, and the three counter is just kind of overkill. This is like the opposite of like an Elder Bear. It's kind of like an over Elder Bear, because like it has this really good deployability already, and then it has this other ability that's just kind of nuts. Is it a better? I think it is a slightly better Ramon, honestly, because Ramon is reliant on your hand state. No, but for this you do need bronzes as well. This is the thing is with Ramon is better in round 3 than this, because in round 3 you don't have things like tactical advantage, so you kind of have to rely on your bronze engine living, or you're kind of forced to play Roderick or Joachim. Sorry, not I always say Joachim, even though his name is Joachim. So you have to play like Joachim and then get a bronze soldier out so it stays alive. Also pikeman. Oh yeah, pikeman spam's pretty funny with this. I mean, the thing is, you could also play both this and Ramon in the same deck, which would kind of be insane. Like pikeman would probably be an actual archetype with Duchess Rosaria. So yeah, it's a pretty cool card, I would say. I do think. I mean, it might be a bit too good. I think it's a bit too good, but yeah, that's just my opinion, though. All right, next up we have Vikavaro, Grand Master, Mage Human. Banish a bronze unit from the opponent's graveyard. Damage an enemy unit by the banished unit's provision cost, and boost self by the banished unit's power. Ah, I could see this being a card. This is pretty cool. Like, I mean, imagine like you banish an oak. The problem with a card like this, this is like very Nufgaardian, where it's sort of like RNG dependent. But a lot of times this should give you good value no matter what. It should always give you solid value. Also, like maybe because it's a bronze unit, right? Oh, sorry, I was thinking about I was thinking about maybe it should just be limited to bronzes. Yeah, at bronze, I think with bronze units, this card's kind of busted. Then, actually, no, you would always use this with bronzes anyway. This card's kind of crazy. Isn't this card kind of crazy? Like, there's always gonna be like a 4/4, so you're dealing 4 damage and have 5 power. But it is reliant on it being in the graveyard. Yeah, this card's kind of busted. It's like a 5 deal 4 for 9 provisions. That also banishes a card in the graveyard. It would have to be like 11 provisions, maybe. Yeah, I think at 11 provisions this would... Because like it's very similar to... the card I would probably compare this to, the card that's best to compare it with, is Forest Protector, and Forest Protector is an 11 provision card, so I would say they should be kind of on like the same level. It's good design, but I think the power level is at 9 provision. This card's auto include, by the way. You would always play this card in every Nilfgaard deck, no matter what. Card's just kind of too good in any Nilfgaard deck. And yeah, let's move on to the next card here. Direwolf, order damage unit by 1. Berserk 2, destroy this unit and spawn a base copy of it in this row. Huh? Plays for 5. And you have the Berserk. I mean, it's good with certain... Like, it's... A card like this... This is not a 5 provision card. This is a 4 provision card. Easily 4 provisions. No way this is a 5 provision card. This at the current state, it would have to be 5 power. And have like Berserk 3. But like, it has to be 4 because of the Berserk 2, right? So I think this is definitely a 4 provision card. Yeah, it's pretty, this is like, yeah, okay. I mentioned this in the last custom cards video. You guys love Flaminica, but you guys make it so obvious that you guys love Flaminica, but this is kind of like a subtle Flaminica, right? Ooh, this is actually like a subtle Flaminica. This is a subtle Flaminica, huh? Just kill it outright. Yeah, but that's why I'm saying it should be 4 provisions. I think at 4 provisions, this card is actually perfectly fine. Rather than 5. Maybe even damage unit by 2. Card's just kind of good. But why does it destroy? Destroy... I'm not sure about the destroy, though. Destroy seems a bit too weak. I think. Yeah, I think destroy seems a bit too weak. But it could also be... I mean, at destroy, it's... the power level is definitely... This should definitely be a 4 provision card. You can definitely work around with the design of this. I definitely like the design of this. I like the design of all these cards pretty much, apart from the Godric, which was just a better Ansays. So good job, Ortui. You did good. You did well. Those were pretty nice, interesting cards. All right, next up we have Maha Confessed. Location, devotion, gain resilience. Okay. Well, it's a location. I don't think the devotion needs to be here, but okay. Damage an enemy unit by the amount of dwarves you have, then boost an allied unit by the excess damage dealt, and give it... Oh, wait, okay, sorry. Damage an enemy unit by the amount of dwarves you have. Then boost an allied unit by the excess damage dealt, and give it armor equal to half the amount of dwarves you have. Whenever you play a dwarf, boost him by 1 and give him 1 armor. Oh, that's busted. There's like 5 different effects on this, and the fact that it's resilience seems kind of broken. So I guess the devotion in that case makes sense, because the opponent has to kind of deal with this, because, yeah, this card's kind of broken. Card is actually kind of broken. Se dwarfs are a witting, irsche, viscerole, to make the besked alles in the world. I swear that who the behuges, the great son. I don't know what that means. Dwarfs. Yeah, I mean, this card's pretty crazy, right? At 9 provision, it seems kind of busted. You need to be drunk like the dwarfs in the card to understand it. I mean, I guess that's the idea of this one. But I think this card's a bit broken. I don't think this card should exist in the game. A card like a card like this is just a bit too good. It's kind of like a mini scenario that has resilience, which I don't like that, to be honest. All right, next up we have Queen Kalanthae. No picture. I'm disappointed, but we'll still read it. Boost self by the amount of charges you use this round. So 0. Crew devotion melee. Boost self by the amount of charges you have used this round instead. Wait, what? Crew devotion boost. Oh, half the amount. Okay. Crew devotion ranged. Boost self by half the amount of charges used this game instead. What? Huh? Wait, what? This round. Oh, this game. Okay. So 0. This is 0. This card's so bad, holy moly. Like, you'd think you get at least like 4 charges in a game. You usually get like 3. The average amount of charges you get in a game is like 6 or so, which is really bad. Okay, maybe I'm exaggerating here, but Yeah, I don't like this. I mean, it's kind of like a gourd, but not as good as gourd because it's 12 provisions and it's super dependent on stuff staying alive, which gourd doesn't have. Gourd's like, all right, play specials, whoopty. That's pretty much it. Yeah, it's way overcosted. It has super. This is a super underwhelming effect. Like, obviously, it can go completely ham if you're playing against something like Monsters Thrive. In that case, yeah, you're winning the game and have like a 30-point Queen Kalanthae or something. But like, the kalanthae won't make a difference, right? At the end of the day, the card doesn't make any difference whether you win, because if you're playing charges, if your charges live, you win the game based on the charges anyway. The only thing that this does is give charges a short round, which does make sense, but then the 12 provisions isn't really worth it, honestly. Alright, next up we have Rena Weds, Empress. Rena. Disloyal, immunity. Deploy, give adjacent units spying, ignoring Veil. Okay. Devotion, at the end of your turn, give adjacent units spying, ignoring Veil. If every unit in this row has spying, move to the opposite row and boost self by half the amount of units. Dude, this guy loves half. Half is like... Half effects are just so friggin' hard to calculate. I mean, yeah, you're giving the game a bit more nuance with half. But like, it's just too much thinking, man. There's already so much thinking that's going on in the game, since it's just pure math. And then you have to also add halves and like round it up or round it down. Yeah. So it's like, it's kind of like a... I mean, why would you play this? It's kind of like a... What's it called? The aristocrat card, the ruthless aristocrats. I don't know what their name is. Pure math. Yeah, pure math. Quick maths. Yeah, it's kind of like a worse and better version of the aristocrats. Hapless aristocrats. There you go. I know that. Seditious. Sorry. Did I say hapless? Whoops. Yeah, seditious. Yeah, I mean, I've seen this design so many times already. I mean, the immunity does help with it not getting consumed, but then the opponent just plays the Endrega Warrior, and you're like, whoops, I just played a negative 3. All right, Cloud Giant. Deploy melee. Spawn rain on both enemy rolls for 3 turns. Deploy ranged spawn Skellige Storm on an enemy roll for 1 turn. Order ranged spawn Skellige Storm on the opposite row for 1 turn. Melee, whenever... Oh, wow. It's like... What? Okay. Whenever the unit dies because of a weather effect, boost self by 1. Okay. Ranged, whenever a unit dies because of a weather effect, lower the counter by 1 for each unit died. Wait, what? Counter 2, when the counter reaches 0, spawn Skellige Storm in the opposite row for 1 turn. Imagine playing against traps with this. This plays for 1. Imagine you're playing against like traps or like no unit stuff. You have a 1 for 11. This card's kind of bad. It's very like dependent on you playing against swarm decks. Very dependent on playing swarm here. So yeah, not a good card at all. Like it's so over the top, but it either gets like a crazy amount of value or it gets like 0 value. Nobel Prize for Literature. Yeah, he's made like an entire text here. I'm never gonna read these texts, by the way, unless chat tells me to. Okay. Next up we have Mother Bear. Spawn a young bear in your graveyard. Order summon all young bears from your graveyard into this row. Beast, young bear. While in graveyard, spawn 2 copies of this unit in your graveyard at the end of every ally turn. Lock 1, then lock self. Okay, I mean... Hey May Flaminica loves this card. Wait, isn't this like an infinite loop? Okay, no, I think... wait, the limitation is what? You spawn 2, then it locks 1 and locks self. That leaves 1, which spawns 2 again, which locks 1. No, it's infinite, right? Is this infinite? I'm sorry. I'm wondering if this is infinite. It generates a beast. Doesn't it generate like 2 beasts per turn? Spawn 2 copies of this unit in your graveyard at the end of every ally turn. Lock 1, then lock self. So it generates 2 beasts in your graveyard per turn, which is absurd. Like, this card is just value. You play this round 1, your Flaminica hits like, let's say an average of a game is an average of like 16 turns. Your Flaminica is already playing for 32 boost on 4. It's a 36-point finisher. That's kind of nuts, right? I think it generates 2 beasts per turn, though. If I'm not mistaken. My thinking Young Bear should have doomed. It's not token. Yeah, I know. Like, you're never actually using this order ability. You're just creating a carryover for that 30-point Flaminica. Just play Viper, yeah, basically. The only way to counter this is Viper, I would say. Alright. Next up, we have Silvia Anna. Human Cursed Aristocrat. Deploy. Set an enemy unit's power equal to another enemy unit's power on that unit's row. Oh, that's so broken. But it's not the worst. Because you got spies. As Nufgaard, this is like a 5-point Vincent, right? But it can reset. It doesn't have to be base strength as well. This card's kind of nuts. This should not have... Yeah, this should not have 5 power. This card's absolutely bananas. It's like... yeah, it's basically Evar on steroids, right? Because Evar is like good. It gives you a good swing, but it gives you the tall unit. So you're vulnerable to tall punish. This card is like, all right, you have a tall unit. I'll just make that spy's power your power real quick. Yeah, this card's kind of busted. Very, very, very busted. Francesca Fin the Bear. Order, range. Play a special card from your graveyard. If it is a bronze, play it and boost self by 3. If it is a gold with 9 provision or less, play it. If it is a gold with 10 provision or more, play then banish self. Oh, but it's special card. It's literally any special card. It's a 4 bot. It's a 25 it's a 25 provision on Neuromancy, which is actually not bad. Like, card is actually kind of good. Card is just kind of good. Oh yeah, it's from your graveyard. I thought from your deck. Yeah, it's Mystic Echo on a body, but I think Mystic Echo on a body makes more sense than with a leader ability, I think. Not sure how good this actually is. But yeah, it's basically play a second Water of Broccolon. Second Water of Broccolon is pretty good. I mean, you would always just play this over Forest Protector, even in nature decks, right? Because it's a 7, deal 5 for 1 provision extra, but you can replay a Isergrim's Council, you can replay a Call of the Forest, you can replay a Shaping Nature. Yeah, this card is just like a better Forest Protector in every possible way. They will never print a card like this, I think. I mean, maybe they might, but who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? All right. Next up, we have Goddess Freya, Eternal Relict. Deploy. Draw a card from your deck, then discard an allied unit and boost self by half its power. Okay. Berserk 2 at the end of your turn. Heal all units on the board excluding self. At the start of your turn, summon self from the graveyard to the ranged row. Counter 2. Oh, okay. So this is very reminiscent of Ceres, right? Ceres used to be 4 power whenever you resurrect a unit, summon self to a random allied row. Which was a pretty underwhelming effect at the time. But they then reused it with Crow Mother. And that's okay, I guess. At 12 provisions, you draw a card from your deck and discard an allied unit. So let's say, for example, it's like an iced, but more okay. So say, for example, you draw a greatsword, this plays for 9. For 12 provisions. You definitely play greatswords with this, though. The Berserk 2 seems pretty crazy, though. It's also free carryover. You have to draw this in round 1, though. You do have to draw this in round 1. If you don't draw this in round 1, it's not very good. With Yuta, it's a 10. Yeah, I'm not... Like, the card is literally only good in round 1. The thing with Crow Mother is at least she's a druid, so she procs your scenario if you don't draw her in round 1. But you never... Like, it never feels good to have Crow Mother and then basically just not have her in round 1. Like, it just never feels good. What's up? The Thorny Reborn. Alright, next up we have Last Breath. Spell. Drain a unit's power and give the amount of boost lost to an allied unit. If the unit you boosted was a specter, boost all allied specters in the row by 1. So it's a free Regis. Yeah, it's a free Regis, right? It's a free Regis that sucks against Skellige. Because Regis sucks against Skellige. This card doesn't even have a body, though. It's like a free Regis. Yeah. It's a Regis. This is pretty much a Regis, I would say. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure about this one. It's like a deploy Regis, which is a bit busted in certain situations. But also really bad in other situations. So, yeah, not sure. Acer. Deploy. If your starting deck has at least 6 pirates and 3 ships, give all non-damaged enemy units 1 bleeding. Bloodthirst 4. Order spawn and place Skellige Storm on both enemy rolls for 1 turn. Wow, that's good. That is so good. Like, you pair this up with like Wildboar of the Sea or just Dagger. It's insane, right? Like, Dagger Pirates might actually be a deck if this card existed. Because you're overkilling on Dagger, which is good, because if the opponent doesn't answer the Dagger, you're pretty much already winning the game. But this alone is already like a lot of good value. And it's not that hard to get 6 pirates and 3 ships in your deck. Like, really isn't that hard. So I think this card's pretty busted. Very, very, very busted. Alright, next up we have Demon Looter. Deploy. Split 1 damage randomly in an enemy row. Increase the amount of damage dealt by 1 for each pirate you control. At 6 provisions? Really? This card's kind of bad. Card's really bad, huh? 6 provisions? 6 for 2? 6? Nah, that's just bad. I'm gonna go to work now. Do me a Be-Wit fair and review my soldier cards I posted at the bottom. I know that I missed my chance and I want salvation, daddy. Yeah, no. You gotta be on time, guys. You gotta be ready. You gotta be always ready. I'm sorry, but like, I'm not like, if people are early and post early and they get the timing right, then I will review their cards. If your cards are on the bottom, it's very unlikely that I will review them, since I've reviewed the cards of how many people now? I think like 6 or 7 people. And like, with 5 cards each, it's so hard, right? I might lower it to 3 next time, but I think the 5 cards gives me a good understanding of what they're trying to do. I'm sorry, Are the Dank Boss. It's just like, even if you're gonna be at work now, I don't think I'm gonna make it to your cards anyway, since I might even just stop after the next person. Yeah, this next person might be the last one I'll do. So, final custom card submitter, Zighart. I'm not sure if you're in the chat. And Yeah, so yeah, this is gonna be my last one. Crow Clan Elder. Deploy gain Rupture. Whenever this unit got damaged, spawn a 1-power crow to the right of this unit. Deathwish, heal all beasts in this row by 1. Oh. Okay. Okay. I like this. That's pretty good. It's nice value. It's like it's like a 5 that spawns a 1-power crow. Works with Heme Flaminica. You can damage it with like Priest or something, or like Hound Snout. Gives you a lot of crows. You guys love the Heme Flaminica. You must have loved the Flaminica there. I mean, it's an okay card. I guess I might have overvalued it just now, but I think this card's alright. It's just alright. But I think we're going to see some Crow Clan synergy here. Crow Mother Agony, Human Druid, Veil. Deploy, purify all allied beasts, and boost them by 1. Whenever an allied beast got damaged, boost self by 1. Adrenaline 2, whenever an allied beast got damaged, boost self by 2 instead. Okay, I mean, you guys just love Flaminica, huh? You guys just you love the Flaminicas, huh? You're not even being subtle with it anymore. I think you just want that Flaminica to be tier 0, and then you're all gonna go on Reddit and complain that Flaminica is a broken card. And then all of these submitted cards, I will show all of these submitted cards to the people that are complaining, saying, this is what you wanted. This is what you wanted. You've asked for this for so long, and now that you have it, you're just complaining about it. Oh, man. Reddit mentality, man. Good old Reddit mentality. Next up, we have Darren. Zeal, order, discard a card and draw a card. Cooldown 2. Whenever you discard a card, gain armor based on that card's provision. At the end of your turn, gain Rupture. Wait, what? Adrenaline 4 lock self. Wait, why? Why does he gain Rupture? What? Isn't this fine? Without the Rupture? Huh? Wait, what? Why? Because you have a cooldown 2, and then you're just damaging him. Why are you damaging why do you have to damage Darren every turn by 6? Isn't this just fine? I mean, yeah, the armor's a bit dumb. But, like, why does this need Rupture? I don't get this. Like, it's a good thinning tool. It has a cooldown too, so it's not too, like, busted. I mean, I'm fine without this Rupture build. The Rupture is just like it makes the card really bad. Like, it really, really bad. Cause like you're just losing value because this, like, why would you play this card with Rupture? Gain armor based on its provision. Yeah, but like it damages by 12 every 2 turns. So you have to discard like high provision cards for this to actually stay alive. No, game, like, you're discarding a 4 provision card, it gains 4 armor. But this card is terrible. Why would anybody play this? What is the point of that? I mean, yeah, you play it with Gremist, but like, what? Why? Why? Just, I guess, gain an armor whenever you discard a card. Why not just like that? And remove the Rupture, like... This card is fine. Like, this is a decent ability. You don't have to, like, add all this Rupture nonsense to it. Kind of pointless, I would say. Bit rude? Yeah, it's a bit rude. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Zygarde. I didn't mean to be too critical on your card, but it's just like, why? Why add, like, these like, why make a card worse when it's fine already? Like, why make it significantly worse when it's fine? Alright, next up we have Forbidden Potion. If you control one of these tags below, choose one condition. Oh, so it's, okay, that's cool. It's a spontaneous evolution. Druid, heal an allied unit and boost it by 5. Okay. Beast, boost all allied beasts by 1. Okay. Cultists transform an allied unit into a bear abomination. If you control one of these tags, choose one condition. Okay. Wait, so I'm guessing if you have a druid, you can do all three? I think? Or does it have to be based on, like, you know, all of this? Do all three have to be available for you to be available to do all three? If you control one of these tags below, choose one condition. All right, I think if you have a druid, you can also... I guess if you have a druid, you can transform an allied into a bear abomination. I think that's fine. This is a cool card. I think bronze, like if a bronze card has like 3 utility options, I think that's pretty cool. The only problem is, like, for example, the experimentation card or the mutagens, stolen mutagens, it's just not good enough, right? You have like it's too conditional for it to be actually good, because you need to control 2 salamander units. And there's not much like salamander swarm, so it really isn't that great. But with this one, it's very similar to the monster spontaneous evolution. And I think bronze cards like this could be quite nice in decks like this, especially because it's alchemy synergy as well. All right, the Manticore. This is going to be the last card for this video. We've already been going at it for like an hour or so. Deploy, consume all allied units on this row, then damage an enemy unit by the amount the Manticore is boosted. Adrenaline 3, consume all allied units, and then damage an enemy unit by 8 instead. Devotion for boost self for each point of excess damage dealt. I mean... aren't you always just gonna, like, consume only one unit? Like, what? It's like a Cyclops, right? You're never gonna go ahead and like want to deal like 20 damage or something, because that's like so niche. But it's niche that it could work in, you know, situations where you might actually need to deal 20 damage or something along those lines. But yeah, it's another, like, one of those cards where you can like set up all the Death Wish cards beforehand. I think this card would actually work a lot with the Wispus Tribute. Not Wispus Tribute. What's the card that triggers all Death Wish? I forgot the name of the card. But yeah, I think this is kind of like very similar to that card, where you kind of like have like a Maruna or something on your side of the field and damage something, or you have a Manticore and damage something so that the Manticore kills like a high point unit or something. Yeah, I think this card's pretty cool, actually. A card like this is like, it's kind of like, it's very similar to the, the Cyclops, right? But Cyclops, the problem with Cyclops is his stat line is awful. He's a 4 for 5, trigger a Death Wish and damage something by the power of the Death Wish. Yeah, Weavis Incantation. No, it's not Weavis Incantation. I mean the one that triggers the special card, the organic special card. With the Brewis on the card. Ritual Sacrifice, I think it is. Or yeah, I think Ritual Sacrifice? Is it Ritual? I think it's Ritual Sacrifice. I'm not sure. I might do a meme card around that card at some point this week or next week. Yeah. But yeah, this is, I mean, I'm not sure at 11 provision if it's worth it. You might as well just play Haunt instead of this to trigger multiple Death Wishes. The damage is okay to have, but it's not necessary, especially at 2 power 11. It's kind of just like a bad enabler for Death Wishes, which, yeah. I mean, he doesn't actually lose the boost. Actually, it's kind of broken still, right? I guess the Adrenaline also is pretty good. Should be a Vi rework. Yeah, I mean, I think Vi should, Vi should just be reworked in general, I think. But yeah, I think that's all for today. We've been going at it for an hour. Actually, more than an hour at this point. So yeah, thank you guys. Like, look how many cards I still have here. These are still like all of these cards. Like, I would love to review all of these, but I've been doing this for an hour, and I want to kind of talk about these cards. You know, I want actually give you a review, and this is where it stops. Obviously, this is where the people have stopped submitting the cards, because they know that at this point, it's very unlikely that they are going to get reviewed. So yeah, sorry about the people that I missed. Maybe next time you will get your chance. I will stream on Thursday, and I will very likely announce the stream on a Tuesday or Wednesday. More likely Wednesday. I did do it yesterday at 3 p.m. So around that time I would usually do it. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. Submit your cards to the Discord. Join the Discord. Also help me out with the Patreon. And leave a like for this video if you enjoyed it. Also subscribe to the channel if you're not yet. For more Gwent content. Wait, I botched the outro. Let me just try this again. I'm not going to edit this. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like, subscribe for more Gwent content, and I'll see you soon. There you go. Now we got it.